Hi, how are you? I will be your presenter for the day. So, my name is Kenya Bullock, and I am a junior achievement alum. I did junior achievement high school heroes when I was just in the fourth grade. I had the opportunity to be a mentee to a high schooler because I was so ambitious and wanted to get into the classroom. And I'm really grateful that from that time on, Junior Achievement allowed me to be a part of the family until I was old enough to be a high school hero. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Junior Achievement High School Heroes. So, it's a program that provides leadership development opportunities to high school students who deliver junior achievement programs in elementary schools. So, for example, you get a packet and a curriculum to follow for the day. You go into the classroom and you are the teacher. Teachers are usually present in the classroom, but you are heading that classroom for the day. It's a really life changing experience. It is why I am passionate about curriculum building and presenting in the classroom today. So, I am going to be presenting on civic leadership. And one second while I share my screen. So, the straight, flat out definition of civic leadership is simply the means to addressing the many opportunities and challenges our state and communities have. It is a precious resource to be cultivated and nurtured. I consider myself a civic leader because one, I am passionate about service in my community. In doing this, presenting to you today, I am presenting as a civic leader. I'm currently building my own nonprofit in New Jersey, and through the many challenges that I've grown up to have being a Trenton native, I decided that I wanted to provide a service that addresses poverty, homelessness, in the food desert that we live in. There are a few things civic leaders should know, have, and be able to. And that is, you should always have knowledge of the communities you are entering. You should have skills that are needed to network. So you should be approachable, you should be brave, and you should be able to hold conversation and very committed to your work. And lastly, networking is very important. And so you should always be able to remember a name, or if not a name, a face and what they do, because you want to build a network full of folks who have resources that will help you in the future. Let's go over knowledge. You should always know your leadership style. What type of leader are you? What environment do you want to cultivate for those who are working with you, collaborating with you? You want to have social and cultural competence. So that means you want to go into communities and understand what is happening, understand what their beliefs are, understand what is right and wrong, or deemed appropriate or inappropriate. And you want to be able to have a relationship among the issues. So if the issue is poverty, you want to be able to connect to it in some sort of way. And so a knowledgeable leader is able to learn quickly. That means catch on to things, you know, do your research and memorize a few things. That means entering a space and really being able to adapt really quickly. Make personal connections is always important. And so when you're entering communities, you want to think about, those that are important to you in your life, and you want to be able to connect that to those who you are meeting. It is always, always important to have listening skills, learning skills, collaborative skills, creative skills, and definitely the ability to act quickly, act on anything that you've promised, because though when you're serving in communities, you better believe that those that you are speaking to will remember any promises. And so when you're listening, you want to listen to learn. You don't want to listen to provide any knowledge. You don't want to listen because you think you could change their lives. You are listening to learn. And then the next is learn. And when you are learning, you want to take notes. You want to really take heed to what is going on in the communities that you are serving. So that means if someone is teaching you a word, you want to memorize that, you want to learn that, you want to be able to use that moving forward. If you are learning how to prepare a meal, you want to sit there and you want to be available, made available, feel like you are adapting to the environment that you are serving in. Collaboration is always important because when you are serving in communities, you don't have all the answers, and no one really has all the answers. So it's important to come together with those that you are serving with and or those that you are collaborating with to piece together the knowledge that each of you have learned, each of the skills that you are really great at, and each of the things that you are taking and adapting into your everyday lives. You want to be able to be creative because things are not always going to go as planned, right? So how do you do that? You think on your toes. You want to be able to use the many walks of life that you have already been on to help you adapt in the new situations that you are on. And again, act. Always be able to back up any promises and or words that you said in any community that you enter. And with those skills, you'll be able to balance leading and following. As I mentioned before, we don't always have all of the answers. And so uh, we step up when we do have the answers and we step back when we are unsure. It changes your perspective when new information is introduced. And so, definitely important to have knowledge going into a community, but sometimes the knowledge that we see online isn't always all of the knowledge that we need to have. And so, it's important to be able to keep an open mind. And whenever you have new information, adapting to that, learning, and moving accordingly. And then you want to persevere through uncertainty. We're not going to always have all of the answers, and sometimes you may come up to really challenging situations. And so you have to develop a tough skin, an open mind, and an open heart. And that is how you persevere. Commitment is my favorite skill to have because you want to always move with the purpose. You want to have your why in the back of your head, and that is how you stay committed, right? Because things are going to get challenging. We're not going to like every step that we go through when being civic leaders. But that is what makes it worth it. That is what makes your work important. You want to be persistent. You want to keep at it. Uh, you want to continue on when things aren't feeling sure. And you always have a list of goals. Why are you going into this? Why are you a civic leader? And how will you get to your end goal? When you are committed, it allows you to work with a wide range of people because it takes a long time to commit, right? It takes a while. And so it may be years down the line where you run into someone who you started with, and that is a beautiful thing. You want to find balance between realism and optimism. Sometimes you have to sit down and be real with yourself. Can I really get this done? How can I keep my promise? And you want to always approach situations with long term knowledge. So, like I said, research, 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 learn, understand, commit, network. Everything flows together. When you are out being your civic leader selves, you want to make sure that you are building a network. You want to be able to call on your friends that you are meeting in different spaces of serving to help you to answer a question, to chat. Maybe you want to have a venting session. Um, you also want them to remember you. So be memorable. Laugh with them. Remember a certain skill set. Be yourself, but also find what's unique to you and show that in the spaces that you are networking in. When you build a network, like I said, you have everlasting bonds, you can collaborate on efforts, and you gain support from many different perspectives, which will help you along the way. Now I'm going to talk about the types of civic service. So you have community service and volunteerism. Community service and volunteerism addresses the immediate needs of our social and ecological communities. What that means is that if I am a junior achievement high school hero and I am walking into the classroom, the lesson that I am teaching um, addresses the needs of the community. So if I am a junior achievement high school hero, I'm walking into the classroom as a volunteer presenter, and my curriculum is on financial literacy. It is addressing the needs of the community, right? Because back in school, I remember not having a financial literacy course until 12th grade. And so when Junior Achievement High School Heroes walked into the classroom, and even myself being able to present about financial literacy in the fourth and fifth grade and middle schools, I learned a lot. And so that helped me pass on the knowledge to peers and also advocate later on for a financial literacy course, which I said that I received in 12th grade, but now it is offered in earlier years. With civic services community building, building trust and relationships among individuals and groups around issues of common concern. So let's think about my peers in my High School Heroes program. I would sit around and discuss the many different issues in the Trenton community, whether it be resources for my courses, needing a new laptop or graphing calculator for calculus. Um, I remember building really trusting relationships among those peers. They're even really close friends to me today. Another type of civic service is community development. It is the practice of identifying or increasing the human or economic assets of a community. And so, if you think about building restaurants, or so use Trenton for example, Trenton, New Jersey. If a Trenton, New Jersey resident decided to build a restaurant in Trenton and decided that 10% of the proceeds will go back into community building. Save for food drives, save for community fridges, save for a junior achievement presenter to come in and provide programming for high schoolers. Um, that is community development, right? Because you are identifying and increasing the human or economic need assets of the community. Another type of civic service is voting and political participation. And so when we turn 18, we have the right to cast our vote in the many different elections that happen in our communities, whether it be for mayor and also even bigger, whether it be for the presidential candidate. Another type of civic service is public education. And so, drawing attention to and creating awareness of local, national, and global issues. That just means when you think about volunteers who walk the city to do voters registration, give information about um, food poverty and things in communities. That is a type of civic service. You are educating your community so that they are aware of issues and so that they can work together to make a change. Another type of civic service is public scholarship. And so engaging in research that serves the public interest and has community or social benefits. So as a high school hero, the curriculum that has been created for you was done by a civic leader or a person who is doing civic service, who has done research in the communities that we are entering to see what students need. Then you have social entrepreneurship. And so using entrepreneurial principles to organize, create, and manage a venture to make social change. So when you think about your community activists and those who are starting businesses like myself to create change in the community. So there are lots of ways to get civically involved. You can go to your local soup kitchen, you can join Junior Achievement High School Heroes, you can go to the Boys and Girls Club, and you can do community cleanups. You can also join your local coalitions. You can do internships and apprentices with City Council, and like I said, join Junior Achievement High School Heroes. You can host voter registration drives, you can attend town hall meetings, and I want to leave you with a quote before I end this. Oprah Winfrey once said, I think education is power. I think that being able to communicate with people is power. One of my main goals on this planet is to encourage people to empower themselves. And so any civic leader will want to empower folks to empower themselves. Please stay tuned for presentation skills and classroom management and also critical thinking and problem solving.